It's time for Transport Line, the program that showcases the contributions of all modes of transportation to the socio-economic growth and development of our nation, Africa, and the world at large. Transport Line is being beamed to you from the Center of Excellence, the state of aquatic splendor, and Africa's fifth largest economy, Lagos. I am Shino Elegbede. Thanks for being part of the program. You will recall about, was not 2 episodes ago, we had a discussion on the Xray of Lagos State Government transport policy. This is the part 2, like we did promise. And we are here because, like we say, it's a question of continuity in terms of costume, so that part 1, part 2 is the same people, same costume. That is what we're doing for you. Well, at the last episode, Transport Line was particular about this issue of government generating money to fund transportation and what have you. But the issue is this. Fundamentally, times are hard. Hard in the sense that there are 2 levies and taxes being imposed on people, despite the fact that we continuously pay our taxes as at when due. Now, today, I still have on set Professor Samuel Odewumi, who is going to continue where he left, but I will employ him to let us address this issue of the way we are today. If the issue of generating fund by LASTMA, by VIS, by Institute of Transport, and the likes of all these agencies, transportation, are not moderated with human face, I tell you, I'm not a prophet, there will be social crisis. Because the way things are, people are taxed, they are really charged. Prof, welcome to the program again.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here once again.
So how do we do it now?
Yeah, I think you are right on point. As far as the policy is concerned, I must say this, that it has no such things as all those giving targets to agencies like LASTMA. Because the pillar that address that is pillar 5, which is financing and cost recovery. I will elucidate on what the policy says. But I know what is now on ground, what was on ground. Now, this is not the first time that orientation was practiced in Lagos State. That time, LASTMA was seen as a revenue generating agency, in which case, oh, you must bring so much, you must bring like you do for custom. But later, I think towards the last end of Fashola, it was realized that this is counterproductive. If your objective is to keep traffic moving, in order to keep the society financially strong, because when people go to where they want to go and come back on time, it pays the society. Let me give an illustration. I was in Atlanta about some few years ago. I was in a bus, a tram, and we were just entering. I had no card, but my friend was not tapping anything. And I said, why? He said, this tram is just for free mobility for 5 years. They are doing pilots, collecting data. I said, then how do you get the money to sustain this? He said, there is an agreement with the companies, taxis, that some people are funding indirectly. And that will take me to what the policy now says. So, as at that time, when people were now shouting, because if you are to generate fund, it means you will want more and more people to violate traffic rules. And as they are violating, you are stopping the traffic, you are arresting them, you are booking them, there is a gridlock, there is no free flow, and
No, it promotes corruption.
That is it. Most of those money they are collecting, government will not have up to 10% of it. That is the truth. So the government, so when the Fashola regime then saw that this is not the objective, we can find other neater ways of generating this one. So I, as a person and as a professor in this field, I will want to seriously advise the government against making LASMA. There are agencies that could be fund generating. Law enforcement should not be converted to fund. For example, if you see the money that even FRC charges is very minimal.
Yes, compared to last
compared to Lagos State. So people will rather bribe the last mile official rather than pay. For example, if you are fined for maybe not wearing seatbelt, 4,000, or you are not having for FRC, for Lagos it's nothing less than 50,000 or 20,000. So all those things forces people to want to bribe the officials. Now back to the policy. What does the policy says about generating fund for cost recovery? Because as we say, transport needs to be funded. How do we go about it? Government cannot do it alone. Private sector cannot do it alone. It is by cohabiting and with multilateral agencies like World Bank. Look at the Marina to Okoko. These are World Bank projects.
Blue line.
Blue line.
Yes.
No, even the road itself, the express line itself, the blue line, the red line, the green line that will come from Lekki to Marina. So this is the plan now in the budget that okay, government should decide, and that's why also they make item 9, I think, budgeting process. It's not going to be whimsical. It's not that a governor just woke up on the right side of the bed and he says, okay, let people have this. Or the commissioner is not happy today and everybody should feel the unhappiness, the sadness. So they said these three parties. I remember when we wanted to start Osun State University, myself, Professor Kebukola, and some other party members. Osun is not as rich as Lagos. So we said we will divide the cost. We know how much it takes to train a graduate. Every year, the cost per head. Let's say it's 100. Let the parent take 30. Let the government take 40. Let the university generate by its own fundraising tactics. So that's how we did it. Now, for the policy, transfer policy, what the policy experts recommended is that there should be, government should continue to fund and decide a budget. Look, within our capacity, this is what we want to be putting in, because there is nowhere totally where government can remove its hand from transportation. Then the PPP, that is the private sector. For example, look at what they did to security in Lagos State. When they asked some banks to contribute to security fund. Yes.
Trust fund.
So PPP can come together and say, okay, to maintain this, to do that, this should be done. And you see, there are so many tax collectors. You are even talking about LASMA that are the legitimate people. There are other illegitimate people go in Lagos at anything from 9 to 10 p.m. You see people carrying bombo all over the place.
Yes, yes.
Almost every kilometer in the whole of Lagos, collecting money.
Especially articulated vehicles.
Yes, cashing out.
And nobody's.
Look, I have done a paper asking Lagos State government to give responsibility to those people. Look, they know them, Road Transport Workers Union, Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, and some local government. Look, let them be identified and say, look, for example, they are collecting hundreds of millions. It is not small money. Those money they are collecting. And there's a pothole in front of your car park, and you will not spend a dime to repair and fix it. That is not the way it should be. So what the policy advocates, and which I recommend to government, is not to make LASMA an agency money generating. NVAA could be money generating. That is those who do license and this
insurance,
thing.
right.
Black ferry could be money generating. That is those who are carrying people
Right,
around.
yes.
BRT, we have some generation, but they may not be able to generate everything. But by the time you say, okay, do advert on the bus, do this, do that, do this promo, do on, so they will be able to get. So the policy is advocating to the system that you should identify the private sector that will have your buy-in. You can't do it alone. Invite people with buses, assist them if they need loan, then take the money back gradually over time. It is this that we work. To start turning them into revenue generation, it won't pay anybody.
Yes.
Because Lagos state government will not like what they will be seeing on the road. Because as I said, efficient traffic officers will not be able to get money to the purse. It is those who are crooked.
Safety starts with you and I.
Yeah.
But government too has a lot of role to play. For instance, for the past a decade now, I've been plying Iju Road, Fagba, Mufola Shayo, Jonathan Cook, and what have you. Those roads have been a state of dilapidation. Even the level crossing. Now you can imagine the damages
To the vehicles.
to the vehicles, whether private or commercial,
And disruption to traffic.
and destruction and the effect on the health of the citizenry. That is not good. And I don't know whether there is something in the Lagos State Transport Policy that will address all of this. Because you're talking about reduction in the traveling time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you reduce traveling time? I'm not talking, you can't build flyovers or bridges all over the places.
No.
But you must make sure that you have motorable road, especially when you say that first and turn, or what do you call it then?
First mile, last mile.
First mile and last mile.
Yeah.
First mile and last mile. If you want to restrict those small buses to that area, then the major routes should be okay.
Yeah.
So easily the commuters will commute from the central
Yeah.
part of the city and to their neighborhood. But when I tell you, do a survey. Every time I see public works scrolling, and these social roads are being repaired today, and I keep asking, Fagba railway level crossing, Fagba junction, Iju Road, over 10 years now, still the same thing. I tell you, in fact, it gets to a time I had to detour. I don't take that route again. Thank God we now have this flyover, Pennsylvania Bridge, and that is the thing. But if it's not convenient for you, or whether you like it or not, you have to pass through that place. You remember how much you'll be paying the mechanic on a monthly basis,
Yeah.
the cost of spare parts.
Yes.
These are the issues.
Yeah.
And aside that, you know the funniest thing?
Yes, sir.
Immediately you leave the level crossing, which is the terrible place, terrible condition, the red line. Few meters before you get to the Fagba junction,
Yeah.
you see VIS officers.
Standing there.
Yes.
Collecting money.
Checking particulars. You are supposed to use what you call
ICT.
ICT now.
Yeah.
But
Technology.
They will still stop and cause and disturb flow
Because
of
the
traffic.
one collected by technology does not get, it gets to government.
And I did my investigation.
Yeah.
Mostly they are from where you have near Abattoir there.
Yeah.
You know? These are where these people are coming from. Again, human face should be applied. Your vehicle license expires today.
If you're on the road and the camera picks you,
Yes, but
you are fine immediately.
I believe if you want to have a safe and human way of enforcing the law, you must give that person 1 week.
Yeah.
Not only that, you must alert him or her
Yeah.
that we pay when you go and renew, for instance, your vehicle license. Yes, it's charges
Yeah.
for GSM.
Yes.
But when last did you receive such a call? So these are the issues involved, because transportation, you look at better tomorrow. Is there in the policy? Prosperous tomorrow. How do
Yeah.
we have a good tomorrow when people are being bombarded every day with
All sorts of
human
levies.
taxes and levies? So you
Now, actually, you know, honestly, that's why we say, because we have not had policy for all these years, We said this is the first time. Because I know personally that once this policy is out, we can use this policy to take government to account and say, this is not what your policy says. You know, I said about revenue collection that the policy does not say you should turn these agencies into money collection. It says this is the way you should collect your money. And that is the joy of having this policy. The policy addressed those issues under three headlines, on the three pillars. Budgeting and planning process. And secondly, I mentioned the funding and financing. And thirdly, I mentioned accessibility to all. Now, the issue of why we are having what we are having today, governance. Governance is another. In that policy, first of all, it separates all the roles, responsibility, and the thing into three. Unlike where it's all commerce. We call it whims and caprices, disjointed incrementalism. It is when you have influence, you can go and see meaning commissioner of works or commissioner who say, I'm the commissioner for something. Please make road to my father's house. So we are making transportation not on a scientific basis. So, but what the policy now advocates is that in governance, there will be separation of territory. You local government, you must take care of this type of problem. That, you see, because there's no way Governor Sanwo-Olu will now see what is going on all over Lagos. But the chairman of your local government is passing that area. The councillors are passing that area. So the policy advocates that the tier of government should attend to certain specific things. Secondly, the budgeting process is not a case of, hey, I like the face of those at Ojo, Alimosho, Badagry, they did not, you must have prepared. You see, when you have data on all these roads, because the roads are not everlasting. Mm-hmm. Even if you put your gravel there, by next year, it may be, and it is by the way you maintain it. So by the new policy, the idea is you must have a plan for all the roles that you have. The plan for monitoring, the plan for evaluation, the plan for maintenance. You must have it. So that's what it says. Either two, until now, if you are in favor, you after prayer and fasting, and the governor comes to your area and say, this is our road, and say, okay, they must move there tomorrow. That is not the way.
Prayer and fasting.
That is you must do prayer and fasting. So, and the governor will now say, okay, let them do this road. But with this policy, all the roads will have had its database and say, that road has been 5 years old, the maintenance. Then, as I said, the state government, if you now want to take some federal roads, you know, either two. If it is federal government, you are just wasting your money. So people of the state will be suffering. And you remember the time when they used to put a signboard, bear with us, this road belongs to the federal government. The new policy is of Lagos state government is that the government should interact with the and have MOU, a solid MOU like they have over with NIWA and NIMASA on waterways, so that NIWA will be able to operate and NIWA and LASWA.
And then Lax Ferry.
Without, they can operate profitably, sustainably. We have enough to do. So that MOU. So Lagos State, the policy is now saying Lagos State will now sit down with the federal government. And thank God, both at the top and the states, unlike when it was a discordant PDP at the top.
The man that was there now
and he understands it. He understands his home. So it is now so easy to work out the policy recommends that there should be an understanding between the federal government and the state government on certain level of roads. There should be between state government and local government on certain level of roads. There should be between some PSP that, look, it is being practiced in a little way in Abuja. CCCC, we say, okay, we are going to do this road and maintain it. We will put flour on it and we will run it. Zenith Bank did something like that on the island. I say, okay, we will put lights here. We will do. So with PPP coming in, no road will be an offer.
And they have tax rebate.
Yes, they have tax rebate. Even some do it for what do you call it? Corporate social responsibility.
Yeah.
So on whatever basis, assorti, if you have an MOU, an understanding with your children, if you do a sign like this, they already know. So if everything is well laid out, you know your responsibility. We know those who will be failing. For example, Lagos State government, after the full implementation, because they will monitor it for 1 to 2 years, after they will now look at, okay, what are we getting right? What should we have done that we did not do? MOU is part of what they must do on the immediate. Now, they will now say, okay, this road, they can no longer put, please bear with us, this is a federal government road, because there's already a policy arrangement, recommendation on what they should do. So on that, by the governance structure recommended by the policy, that the federal should know its responsibility, the state and the local government and the multilateral agencies, everybody will know what we will contribute in the maintenance. So the money will not be you are picking money from people extorting money here and there. And I repeat here, the government will not get 90% of the money. It will just be going to the other end and causing unnecessary disaffection among the people. So I think government should lay off it and obey its own transport policy. And I repeat, when the federal government does not have it, it's not easy to hold them on. I can talk authoritatively now about what government intends to do or what government should do because it is in the policy.
There's a document for
there is no, I'm not peeling it from the, I told you 11 pillars
yes.
to deal with it, and they now pick every mode, road, rail, water, air. Before now, the Lagos Ministry of Transport has no air department, but now they're going to have air department, aviation, that we deal, because Lagos is now to have a Lekki airport in Lekki. Then we are dealing with the then even the freight movement, the goods, how it will be moved, it was specified. All these tanker everywhere. The design of the policies that they will move most of them to the water, those that we can move to the two ends of the, and with the this Lagos Calabar highway is going to be a major relief. I told you I was also the chairman of road committee of Chartered Institute of Transport Administration. You see, we intend to even have a press discussion on it. Lekki, Apapa, Tinkan consume more than 95% of the freight coming to the country. So Lagos is like the esophagus of Nigeria, through which you put your food in and your vocal cord comes out. Our import and export passes. So if that road is not done quickly, some of us have been advocating that we should even do a pipeline that we take Dangote fuel and fertilizer, fuel because it's a liquid freight, to somewhere around Ijebu-Ode, where they will not enter Lagos, because the replica, because Lekki Deep Seaport is bigger than Apapa.
Yeah.
And if you now combine the traffic on that lane with Lekki, and that is the Dangote, definitely there is no way there will be complete gridlock. So I think this is what catalyzed Mr. President. That's part of what people do not know, that made people to think that is very, 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 because some of us have been shouting, that axis will become a gridlock, and that is where the economy of the country is. That area must breathe. It is that Lagos-Calabar route that at least the phase 1 will solve that direction. So that is for that.
Professor Samuel Odell,
yes,
I want to thank you very much for coming on the program, because we've been warned that our time is up.
We always look like a minute.
It's an unfinished business.
Yes, sir.
And the document itself, you said it, even before 5 years, I'm sure we'll find a way to think to review it based on what is happening.
And I will say that our emphasis today is just on chapter 3.
Yes.
The chapter 4, which deals with each mode, is another one. Then the final, how they want to do it, is in chapter 5. One of these days.
Yes, we find time to look at all those two other aspects, because Deliberately, we dealt so much on road.
Yeah.
Because it's the most important mode of transportation.
No, it
As
carries
of
about
today.
90% of the.
Yes. So we look at water, rail system, and what have you in future episodes of this program. I want to appreciate you
Thank you very
for
much.
coming in to talk on this. And you see, we need to speak through to governance so that at the end of the day, everybody
We enjoy.
will be better off for it. Prof, we see in some few weeks or months' time to come and we monitor what's going on.
Definitely.
And that is
You know, your
really-
program is what I've been watching. You know, as a transport professor, I cannot say, I said this is a program that is dedicated to transportation. All the nation should be on it. All eyes should be on it. Because if transport does not move, you go nowhere. So I thank you also for what you are doing for the sector.
Thank you. Transport line is humble, Prof. We appreciate you. Well, you've heard it all, but again, you and I have our own roles to play, especially in the implementation of this Lagos State government transport policy.
Definitely.
We need to cooperate and make sure that we do what is right. Say something if you see something, especially when things are not being done the right way. The documents are there. We've done a little bit of our own analysis of it so that everybody will be on the same page with the government.
And there will be stakeholder engagement regularly. So please attend and tell the government what you think, because that's also why the policy recommends stakeholder engagement.
Yes. So, Greater Lagos, the union is on you and I to contribute to our own quota so that we can move on. But definitely continue to be compassionate to your fellow human being. That way, the society will be better for it all. Times are hard, no doubt, but continue to be compassionate. Till next time, bye-bye for now.